Hey guys, Goosey here. I know I haven't uploaded a video in a long ass time, but that's because I've been so busy with work. Like I've been working 13-hour shifts a day, trying to get that money to, pay off college, to get that piece of paper. But, yeah, I don't know. I made this joke track. I don't remember how long ago it was, maybe a week ago or two. I made this joke track uh using this TikTok thing that you probably have heard, but I thought that the sound design was kind of cool itself. But this is the vocal I'm talking about. Let me turn this down because I don't know how loud this is going to be for OBS.
Call the fire department. We just nuked the building.
It's some really stupid ass TikTok thing, and I thought it was so hilarious. And then there's this other one right here.
Legalize nuclear bombs.
I thought that shit was so funny like a week ago. But I wanted to talk about this sound design that I did in Faceplant with this processing and maybe break it down a little bit because I thought it was so cool. Here, I'll play it so you can hear it.
Call the fire department. We just nuked the building.
Yeah, I know the high end is killing everyone's ears, but I don't give a shit because I'm not going to finish this. It was a joke track, but I thought I was kind of happy with the sound design. But yeah, I can kind of break this down. So it's Faceplant. I started using Faceplant because I took lessons from Miles per hour, and he showed me some how to use Faceplant basically because I think it's pretty basic. Like the lanes over here, it's essentially like Snap Peep. You have separate lanes or buses, or whatever, that you could route different analogs to, or noise or samplers or wavetables to process them separately. So I guess the way I can kind of explain it is like your groups, or actually the analogs is kind of be like your oscillators, I guess. And you have your saw, square, triangle, and sine, like in Serum. And you can group multiple oscillators into a group. And then you can route those groups into a this would be your quote unquote Serum effects. And you would process each one individually. So it's like imagine having, I guess, three Serum effects or Serum effects. Here I think I have Serum right here. It's like having three of these tabs of all these effects and shit in a Faceplant. But if you used Snap Heap, which if you haven't, it's essentially the same thing. Super cool. I love using Snap Heap to stack dispersers and transient shapers and re-resonators and stuff to make cool stuff. But yeah, it's essentially the same thing. But yeah, let me break down the patch, I guess. First let me turn off all these effects and also all these layers because I'll go through those later. So we have all this shit. I do not know what I just did. Oh wait, I'm stupid. I can just select them all, right, and do minus. I did not do anything. Oh, I didn't select them all. Did I? Oh, it's because they're okay. That makes sense. They're different groups. Here, but let me turn these all off. Or actually, let me delete these first because I'm not gonna remember which ones are supposed to be on. Okay, so this. Oh, this shouldn't be on either. Hold on. I'm sorry, I wasn't prepared. I have to go to work in what, 30 minutes? I don't know, but I just had a random impulse to record this. But this is what it sounds like by itself. It sounds like pretty ass. I'm gonna turn these off as well. Essentially, what I'm doing here is I have 4 different sine waves, and then I am uh, playing with the harmonics on each sine wave to give it a different tone to the sound. So you can see here I have 1, 5, 4, and then 12 here. I believe I'm automating this or modulating this harmonic right here, this sine waves harmonics with this micro. Also, don't quote me on this, but I believe the difference between automation and modulation is inside the synth, and then automation is outside the synth. But maybe I'm stupid and retarded. I don't know, but yeah, that's what I think it is. And then I have this envelope here, so without it, I'm doing a pitch bend, so you can see I'm modulating all the semi cents on each sine wave. This is to give it more of a transient pluck, but also give it a little bit of movement so that it hits a lot harder each time it hits. You can see I have a very short decay of 28.5 with a slight curve on the decay. 0 sustain, 0 release, because I don't want it to like ring out, and 0 attack because I really want that click. And then this, I don't know what I'm doing here. I think I had what am I modulating here? Oh, the ring mod, bias, spread, rectify, and also the sync of the third sine wave. Let's go through the effects one by one. I don't think I was using this ring mod, so I'll delete that. So we have a transient shaper. I just want a little bit more transient to it, to the plucky sines waves, and then distortion. I believe when Miles taught me this, I believe that the distortion was supposed to bring out the harmonics a little bit more. I think. Yeah, I'm like destroying the fuck out of this sound. Then I have a frequency shifter which goes down negative 200 hertz, and I'm also modulating this with the macro 1. But to be honest, I kind of don't move this at all, so this should actually not be even being modulated because I'm using a Ableton stock frequency shifter instead of this in here. I have a filter. This is essentially acting like as an EQ. I'm cutting everything below 110 hertz. I'm doing this again. I duped it just to double check that I'm getting rid of those, and then come over. So without, it's essentially just to give it more stereo information, like make it much wider and more, give it more of a texture. And then I have an OTT. Of course, you have to start your processing with an OTT. I have an unload follower on the vocoder. What I'm following here is the F. You can also see that I have some bands here like completely turned off in a way. It's because if I turn them back on, you get that very nasty, ugly ass motherfucking low end that nobody wants. So I turn off those bands so the vocoder doesn't really affect those. And I have this on left and right because I believe I saw a video and it said something about left and right will make it a lot wider than the stereo mode, but sometimes it doesn't work. I don't know, but in this case, I think it did work. I have a frequency shifter here. This is like what gives the entire sound its tone and movement is the frequency shifter. I love frequency shifters. So you can see if I go to the chorus and I make this a little bit bigger, you can see these slight frequency shifters like moving up and down. Kind of gives it a melody in a way, kind of. And I kind of like that. And then I have a snap here. That's what I was talking about earlier, is that I love using snap heaps to like stack dispersers, and I believe I have a distortion here as well. I'm not sure what the fuck this LFO is doing. It's not doing anything. So let's delete it. Um, I have an OTT again. This is to make it a little bit more. This was to like glue all the other effects before it a little bit better. Before it was a little loud and distorted and ugly, so this is like trying to glue everything together. Then I have a widener thingy, so this makes it a little bit wider, as if I didn't already try to make it so much wider before. So it's a dry and wet chain. The dry chain is just the dry signal by itself, so it's nothing, and then the wet signal is a utility with the mids and sides all the way to the right. So together, it sounds like this. So wide, oh my goodness. And then we have an EQ to get rid of those everything below 110 hertz, like I did in this phase plant filter here. Then I have another EQ just to double check again. Then I have a hybrid reverb. This is to give it more width. I got this from the Akuma tutorial on the Disciple page. She used a hybrid reverb to kind of give it more, not only width, but also more of a like character texture sort of thing to the guns. Like before, they were so in the middle, but then when she put the convolver on, it made them so much wider and bigger. It really filled out the mix, and I think that was really helpful for this sort of sound. And then with the EQ again, everything below 110 hertz, and then I have this dip right here because I thought this part right here was pretty harmful to my ears at the time. I have a Soothe. A lot of people talk shit about Soothe, but I think Soothe is a wonderful, beautiful plugin, and I think everyone should start using it a lot more and not be ashamed of using this. So you can see I'm cutting a little bit up here in the higher frequencies, especially right here and right here. This, I believe, is like where that very clicky, harsh transient is. Like, yeah, before I tried to bring out a lot more transient and more pluckiness to the sound, but eventually just got too much, and I was kind of too lazy to go back here and just lower the transient shaper settings. And then here we have, I think this is a NASCO thing. Yeah, it's like, I don't even know what this is. I think it was like a NASCO rack. I got this from his Patreon. I think it was the smart clip or something. I think it's supposed to make things louder without like distorting them or destroying them. I don't know how that shit works. I don't even know if that was the right rack I just said. I have a shaper box. Here's a cool sound design. Fuck, I can't speak. Here's a cool sound design technique that I love to do. Is I use a shaper box and I go to the time shaper, and then I go, thanks Facebook. I go to the time shaper thing, and I love using this tape stop preset right here. This is so cool, and I'll show you what it sounds like. Let's go to the automation thingy, if I can find it. Automation, here it is. So it'll do that. I love that effect. I have a ROM. This is for like the reverb swells that I thought were really cool. I like to reverb. I cannot fucking speak today. I like to use reverb swells because it helps me transition from flow to flow, like different segments of the bass loop or flow. Sorry, I can't speak English today. Without it making it so awkward, and it also sucks it sucks you into the next section of the bass. So like without it, and then with, it kind of goes like it sucks you in, and I like that effect. And then I have this fake out thingy, which is, I don't know, what did I do here? I think it's just an EQ. Like, let me fucking see. I have no fucking idea how this shit works. Oh, it's just this. I'm like isolating like the mids of the bass. And then I have an echo here. I like to use this in transition to like from my drops to like the breakdowns. As you can see, I have the filter. I turn on the filter. Usually it's like this by default, but I open this up and I went a little bit higher so that way I don't want it to echo the sub or like those sub frequencies, because that would be not good, especially when I already have a sub here in the breakdown. But let me play this so you can kind of see what it sounds like in context when it goes into the breakdown. And then without, see how awkward and like how sudden that is. And then with the echo, it transition, it kind of bleeds into the breakdown without it sounding so awkward. And then let's go to the other layers. I have the sub. My sub is nothing special. It's the same sub I use in every single thing. But I'll break this sub down for you. This is my sub, and this is how I love to do it. So I can do this from scratch in a bit, but let me break it down real quick. Make this actually a little shorter. I think the pitch bend is a little too strong. But it's a sine wave. You can go to basic shapes. But I'm just using the analog BD sine wave, but basic shape sine will work as well. I have LFO on the chorus pitch, and then I have a noise, and then there's no effects. So without the effects, the sub will sound like this. I can solo it. I don't know why I have an OTT on it, on my sub. That's so fucking weird. It's actually kind of like retarded, but here I have my distortion on 15 dB. And I don't know why I have this ROM on the outside. This should be inside the main patch, but whatever, I don't care. And then of course I have it cutting out the lows, the mids. I think this is a little too dramatic right here, but it worked in my case. But maybe it shouldn't be that fucking harsh. Maybe like that. And then with the bass patch. The reason I'm cutting out for like any newbies, I'm cutting out the mids right here to make space for the actual bass patch, because then you have those frequencies that are like overlaying each other, and then it sounds really muddy and disgusting, and then your sub will have this weird like phase kind of effect or something, and it's not really good. But it's fine to have these. What the fuck did I just switch? It's fine to have these sub frequencies there, because I already cut them out like 6 times in this rack. And then where's the sub? And then I have these higher frequencies still there, like the white noise, to give it some more crunch to the main bass. Then here I have a simpler. I'm using a transient layer here. And actually I fucked up here. This should actually have a pitch. I did not know I fucked this up. Okay, so this should be MIDI effects. It should have pitch. I fucked up here, and I think this is 3 octaves too low, so it should be 36, right? There you go. I didn't even know that was fucked up until just now. But yeah, there you go. That it is. They have these transient layers, so like I look at transient. You don't even have to use like a special transient layer. You can use a percussive one shot and just cut out. You can use a kick, an entire fucking kick, just isolate the transient. And I think for like the new people, I think like the best way that I can describe a transient is like the loudest peak in a sound, or usually like a kick. It would be the very first, like a click, and same for the snare. So like, let me show you. Let me get like a kick. Sure, this kick, I guess. Here, hold on. I'm just going to explain this for everybody that doesn't know how a kick is made. So I'm going to split this up. So this would be transient. And I believe that would be its own. So here we have the transient, the body, and the tail. So this, actually what I should do is I should make these into different ones so I can isolate them better. So the kick and snares are usually like 3 different parts to make up an entire sound. So you have the transient. That's what the transient is. The transient is the very click. It's usually like the loudest part of a sound. And then you have the body, and then you have the tail, which in a kick I believe would be like the those leftover sub artifacty things, and then like the snare tail would be like the white noise that has left over. And then together, now you know how to make a kick because now you know you need a transient, body, and tail. And I'm going way off rail. I'm supposed to be talking about sound design, and I'm going over how kicks are made. Um, but yeah, I have this transient layer because remember I had that soothe like softening up those transient and those very high frequencies because I thought it was a little too harsh. So I brought in my own transient here. And I don't think it has an EQ except this. And I know what you're thinking. What the fuck are you doing? But look, without it and then with, I'm like isolating this like very, I don't know if this is the right word, but like resonant frequency that I really like, that really stood out to me in the mix. It's also gain. I think it's kind of cool to purposely ring out these like frequencies, these resonant frequencies. I think it sounds really cool depending on how you, if you tame it well and whatnot. But don't be afraid to do stuff like this, like weird stuff. It's really like brings out the transit a lot more, in my opinion. And then I have this, which is just white noise. As if I didn't have enough white noise with the sub, I wanted to add more. So it's just a serum patch with the bright noise, and I'm modulating the level, the volume. It shouldn't be on, and that's all I'm doing. I just have the distortion all the way up. And then I have here, I'm for the processing, it's just an OTT frequency. I don't know why I have a frequency shifter on the noise, but I do. And then I have the saturator at 10 dB with the soft clip off, and I'm cutting out those nasty lows. And then I have a peak right here because I wanted to make space for that transient layer that I had earlier. I wanted to make space for that. Maybe I could go a little bit lower. But that's it, and that's the entire sound together. So if we play all together, all these layers, sounds pretty cool. Something does not sound right. I don't know what it is. I think it's my I think it's this main patch. It's not. I think it's this sub. Yeah, I think it was meant to be like this. Well, I don't know. I fucked it up and I don't give a shit anymore because, like I said, I'm not going to finish this. Oh, and then I guess I can go over some layers like background effects to fill it up a lot more. Remember I had this.
Call the fire department. We just nuked the building.
I chopped that up. Or no, I chopped up this one right here.
Legalize nuclear bombs.
I chopped that up here.
Bombs.
And I really love these chants right here. I love this one I found on Splice. I recommend this one. It's so cool. It's like this war chant. It's so fucking cool. And I think I warped it over here maybe? Oh no, there's another, no, never mind. There's a different one. And then I have this just regular hey chant, which I think this one is sped up or pitched up, sorry. And then for the effects on these, I don't have any on those war chants, but on this one I have an EQ, and a delay, jump ping pong, and I'm only doing it to like those higher frequencies because I don't want to ring out this like lower stuff. What else can I show? I guess this is just like NASCO stuff, NASCO effects. And then perks. I have pre-shifts and reverse cymbals to like slap into those snares. And I think over here, the second half, I do have. I'm using my own kick here, and then a NASCO snare. I'm probably gonna switch that out. But over here I have like pre-shifts. And the main clap. Let me show you. So you see like this right here, this stuff that hits actually before the clap, that's the pre-shift. It kind of like sucks you into the clap in a way. It's like I was showing you earlier about the reverb swells. It's kind of like that, but for drums. Dude, something is fucked up in this bass now, and I don't know what it is, but I don't care. Oh yeah, and then I have this reverb. This sorry, not reverb. This virtual riot thing. I think it was like a whole loop, but then I chopped it up. Here, I think it was. No, never mind. It was just that. Oh, then the second half I had this riser thing. Just I'm letting the pitch up an octave. I have EQ and the smile to kind of like slowly fade away into the dark, horrifying abyss. And yeah, that's it. That's really it. Yeah, that's it. That's all I have to show you. Maybe I'll make another video when if I make something cooler. I don't know. You guys even want new videos, but you let me know. And yeah, thanks, I guess.